You built this?
It was easy once.
You built this?
It was easy once I found the parts.
Looks like you need a break. The General gives you...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fry Basket. I am Cater, and I'm joined here today by my co-commentator, Topic.
Hello, Kater. How you doing today? You doing having a good day?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what these teams have to bring to the table here. We are going to be watching Salient versus Surgical Winter. A couple of these. Now, I do recognize a lot of the teams here at Fry Basket today, but these names I don't actually recognize specifically, so very excited to see what they have.
I mean, hey, neither do I, so it's going to be a surprise for the both of us. But speaking of surprises, we're going to start with our first match, which is going to be Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi, I believe.
Oh boy, Mahi Zones. Oh. It says Mako on my end, so that might be incorrect.
Ooh, okay, so
Not entirely
like,
sure.
I think
game
mistaken.
1 might have already been played, and so now that was the Mahi game that went to looks like Salient, and now we are going to be heading into zones on Mako.
Okay, you know what? Hey, better late than never, because we're going
That's
to
true.
Mako Mart zones. Now, me personally, I'm just not a fan of zones in general or Mako Mart, but I can say this map in general is very good for buckets, blasters, rollers, a lot of short range weapons that can really fight over ledges. It is very fight oriented, I would say, because it's kind of condensed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot
Anything
of
that can really abuse those ledges is super happy here on this map.
Yeah, and of course, you got the one very popular snipe area for your pencil, and then your heavy edit, but mainly your pencil, and then a pencil, and then another pencil. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see either team kind of really try to take advantage of that, try to get the opponent back on air, possibly off of that snipe and kind of disoriented. But we're gonna see here is we're going to see, I believe, yes, that is a mint decap from the side of Salients. Not a whole lot of interesting things from them, but we know what we see is very so often on the side of Surgical Winter. A Carbon and a Junior, so very, very paint heavy comp from Surgical Winter.
I will say, as somebody that plays with a Carbon Deco on my team, a lot of it is about enabling that Carbon to go in and cause as much mayhem as possible. And it looks like it's working. As you can see, they went and got a bunch of picks there. 2 down to the side of Salient. Surgical Winter does lose that Carbon, but that's okay because they have a good amount of control over mid right now. Miku setting up here on this stack, as well as allowing for jumps back in, and that cooler out is very, very important. We do also have the trips about to come out, or at least at the ready, from the Slosher here. Losing 2, though, the Junior going down, as well as the Carbon was good enough for the trips to be popped here to maintain control of this zone.
Yeah, and I just want to shout out to Miku there for just staying alive. You saw them through the crab. They were able to keep themselves alive, get jumps in, get their bucket the support they need to keep them alive and pop those strikes in order to counter what Skillian had to do. And so far, a bit of movement coming out for the bucket. Unfortunately, they're going to go down, so Surgical Winter has to be a little bit more careful here. But there's the Carbon tracking on the ledge. You have to be very, very careful of. But Salient, however, just going to go right around it. It's going to work. Get a good hold. Another one for the roll, looking for a double kill. There it is, and Salients with a very quick response, and there's a triple to get themselves back into this game.
Oh, very nice triple. Zuka a little bit trapped in the corner here. Does result in a trade, but that Gal also getting the pick there. So we do see Salient now in control of the zone. We are going to see the bubble here, not entirely on the zone though, and not entirely able to capitalize off of that. A nice cooler jump out from Luck here directly into that wall. Very, very nicely placed. And this is going to be Salient continuing to hold on to this zone. The dualies here, really nice skirmishing, really just drawing attention to themselves while also putting down the paint. And you can see the decaf just so aggressive and getting these picks incredibly placed. And they're almost at that bubble right now, taking the lead for Salient. And unless Surgical Winter can push in right here, this might be game.
I mean, it might be, but Surgical Winter are trying to go in the crab.
Oh, the crab.
There will do it. The strikes from the bucket, however, it's gonna be just what they need in the nick of time. They're at least gonna get a penalty points, but I guess the decap tried to slice and dice and play a bit of Fruit Ninja and get I believe another triple kill to get Salient back into control. So now Surgical Winter, they have to do that again, and so far I don't think Salient's gonna let them do it.
Yeah, that white making it really difficult for them to keep control of mid here. And you can see they've also lost their carbon, which is a lot of the aggression that this comp has. They still have the junior from Feint. The bucket goes down, though, forcing the jump out is forced here. They have this bubble that they can use to hold space, but they have to have space before they can attempt to hold it. And that penalty is quickly running low, but that pick is extremely important right now. As you can see, the carbon is going to come in and support their teammate, but the decav is still here, still for aggression. Everyone painting like their life depends on it, and that is a trade. Here comes the Zuka from the carbon, but the carbon goes down as well with the crab. That's 3 down, and that is going to be the zone, forcing this pen back to pop cooler, but I believe with the penalty gone, there is our game.
Shout out to Sunday on the decav. I believe we saw them get 2 or 3 triple kills. I want to say that kind of just let Salient do what they did. Now I'm not sure what happened in game 1, but from the looks of it from game 2, Sunday kind of just got the flanks they need. They got the support from the team with the paint. With just a cover fire of the crab with the 52 just being a very, very threatening kill option with the pencil, of course, with that backline support that just kind of allowed Sunday to kind of pop off with the decav. So shout out to Salient. What a very, very good game there.
Yeah, I know I talked about enabling that carbon on the side of Surgical Winter, but I think that just got really difficult for them with this decav taking a lot of the similar positions and decav just being able to paint and be self-sufficient, as opposed to carbon, which sometimes has to rely on its teammates in order to give them paint before they can go into a situation. So yes, we did see you pointed out the carbon was sharking underneath those ledges, really in nice positions, but at the end of the day, I think the crazy aggression from that decav is really what pulled some of those pushes and lockouts through.
Yeah, and I think that's why I personally like decav as a weapon, especially the decav, because despite it having a bubbler, which is, seen as a more defensive special, just the attributes of the weapon itself, it having that one shot, it kind of being deceptively long range, it painting not well, but good enough for itself, it just gives a kind of safety blanket for a aggressive weapon, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, with that exciting Zones game, we are going to head to a short break while we prep round 2. So stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
See you in a little bit. All right, everyone, welcome back. I hope y'all enjoyed your little break, but we are back with some more Fry Basket. I am Topic, joined once again by Cater, and for you today, or for you with our round two, we have Mechanomics versus the Cafeteria. Cater, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We are going to take a look. Let's see, what map have we got these teams facing off on?
Well, it looks like it will be Zone's Manta Maria for game number 2. Very interesting. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Zone's Manta since Splatoon 2.
No, yeah, I don't think I've watched or played a Manta game of Zones in 3, now that I think about it. To be fair, I don't play a lot of solo queue. I play a lot in tournaments with my teams. But to be fair, when you have single mode tournaments, you get some more of these maps, more uncommon maps, because otherwise you just have the same maps every set, and people like variety. So Manta, I feel like, is one of the fair maps to play on other modes, so it makes sense to bring it out for Zones as opposed to something that everybody hates like Lemuria.
Okay. Everyone hates it, but it'd be really funny if it was in it. That's what I'm gonna say.
It'd be really funny for a gimmick, but like if I entered a tournament like this and saw Lemuria, I'd be a little upset, you know? Like, my whole team really dislikes that map. Alright, let's take a look at what we got here.
Here we. Oh, okay. I am a fan.
Woo!
I am a fan. What is that? Milk on the VDS, a weapon I'm a very big fan of. Not very well seen, but yeah, the Cafeteria going with a double dually, not something you see very often. And also on top of that, they have no cooler, so they're gonna be really picky about the fights they take, because with cooler, things can spiral out of control very, very quickly.
Yeah, and on the side of Mechanomics, it looks like they're running that meat rush. Not in a V-Octo, not something that you see too terribly often either. So some pretty neat picks from both of these teams here. It looks like the Cafeteria in control for this first bit of the match here. Having the Crab also to help defend mid is going to be pretty useful. I do wonder if they're going to try and pop from Brace. Yeah, there we go. We see the Octo Rush, though, is going to absolutely decimate that Crab, and that's going to result in a wipeout for the Cafeteria. You can see that Bucket has already pushed up so far and is now just absolutely denying these ledges for Cafeteria.
I mean, yeah, you gotta watch his elbow if you're Mechanomics. Make sure no one can drop you, and they're doing a really good job of that. One's gonna go down in a trade. Dante, though, is gonna go down themselves. So Cafeteria, possible opportunity here to at least get a little bit closer to the zone, but there's a Crab to shut that down into the firing range. There one goes, as Clef was able to get one and stop the Cafeteria from advancing any further. But the Cafeteria, for their part, they do have a bubble and a Zuka. An unfortunate bomb kill might just be what they need, but Mechanomics are just holding on here, as unfortunately though for them, they're gonna go 2 down. The brush is gonna go down as well, leaving just the Bucket and Cafeteria. Really, really nice response here, and just getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah, very nicely executed wipeout there, and Manta being one of the zone maps on the smaller side, they can very, very quickly take that mid, especially with the double dualies combination, and start pushing up. They do lose 2 of their members, but we're very quickly going to see the jumps back. Milk going down, though, unfortunately not able to pop that wave breaker in time, and with the paint immediately coming out from that pencil, the zones are just going to flip very, very quickly. V-Brush does go down here, and we have a 3v3 situation on the zones. As you can see, Karma painting like their life depends on it, able to pop the Zuka here, looking for those members of Mechanomics, not quite able to find them this time.
I mean, yeah, not able to find it, but they at least did a good job of making the pencil at least back up for a little bit. But the rest of Cafeteria, they aren't to fully capitalize it. As you see, Mechanomics are very, very quickly able to just collect themselves, recapture the zone. There's the Octobus getting one within the Zipcaster. So now Cafeteria are back to where they started. They're back to square one. They're back with Mechanomics just knocking on their doorsteps. We are going to see a nice pick there by the Decap to at least try to get something started, getting a bunch of damage onto one person. They're gonna get out of there. The bubble will come out. Cafeteria going for this right zone, try to move over to this left, but Mechanomics, the GG strikes will do enough to at least stall for a little bit longer. Karma's gonna go down as well. So Mechanomics, they are holding on, actually getting a wipeout. So a really bad situation for them turned really, really well for them in a flip of a switch.
Yeah, I think the sheer amount of paint getting put out by this pencil is so important here. You can see this crab as well. We're trying to get the jumps out from right, but that's another wipeout, especially with the members, the V-brush being there, the crab, and that is going to be our game.
Yeah, and I think the cafeteria, they did a really good job at the beginning of taking good fights. I think they did a good job of holding. They got down to 54, I will, yeah, 54, and then from there, Mechanomics, they just really outpainted them, to say the least. They had the pencil, they had the splash, they had in the bucket, so they had those GG strikes. So they just had so much paint pressure on the cafeteria that eventually they just got overwhelmed. Because as we saw, or see right here in the replay, just you can see how much of the map is just being painted orange, and the wipeout just kind of put the little bow on it. So now, if you are the cafeteria, like you've seen what happened in this game, you know that you're probably gonna get outpainted again. And then the question becomes, how do you play around it? So that's the rule. That's the biggest question that the cafeteria has to answer. So maybe we'll see something from them. I do expect at least a little bit of changes. I do think they can stick with the double dualies, though. If you are going to do that, you're going to have to play I won't say they played passively. I would more so say they didn't take full advantage of the opportunities that they had.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Well, we are moving to Hagglefish Market, which is very different from Manta. Although the pen is still going to thrive here. You can get that set up on tent. Just, again, the amount of paint that it can put out very quickly. I personally, as a headed player, with the pencil is always kind of my personal enemy. And so the sheer amount of paint that thing can put out always is just so impressive to me. But yeah, I do think the double dually comp can work super well here, especially with those side areas that skirmishing and flanks can happen in. Just got to coordinate that with the team and, try not to... I think the wipeout situations were also very damaging to Cafeteria, so hopefully trying not to fall into those.
I mean, yeah, it looks like they are going to at least switch over to... I believe they switched over to a bucket. Yes, they did. So other than that, no changes from either side. They both feel comfortable with what they got. Maybe the cafeteria thought, okay, we can use these strikes to kind of like dissuade Mechanomics from pushing forward. So let's see if that change is going to work out for them.
Yeah, already we're going to get the crab out here from the cafeteria. Very nice. See, targeting that pen, forcing them to move. Getting a pick on them. Very, very nice. You'd love to see it. And, ooh, another pick as well coming out from that splash. We have the crab on the other side coming out here as well. Some skirmishing going on with that, even though the pen pick, very crucial there. That's going to end in a 3-down situation for Cafeteria, and so Mechanomics is going to push up, take a lot of the space here with the zip from the brush. Does get taken out very quickly, though, and now we're going to see the strikes come out for the counter strikes as well. Lots of specials being popped here as Cafeteria tries to break back into this zone. They're going to need to get the picks here. We have Wavebreaker, we have Bubble, and Soda here is going to go for a flank successfully as well. Another pick, very, very nice there. And that is a perfect break-in for them.
Yeah, just very good job. As you saw, they got the crab early on from Mechanomics. They got them down, so that took a lot of pressure off their backs. And just really good job of collapsing onto the remaining members. But Mechanomics, like clockwork, like nothing happened, just very quickly able to recapture the zone. Dante able to get one, keeping themselves alive, waiting for the Decaster to come in to distract them. It's going to work with another pick, 2v2, 3, a 2v1. So the last member of Soda Cafeteria is forced to back away, and kind of a deja vu from earlier this game and kind of last game. Anytime that Cafeteria pushed, Mechanomics responded very quickly in kind. So let's see, can they get a good sustained hold here? And they have to make these for it right here.
Yeah, crab double, absolutely crucial. The splash, though, being the only one alive right now, does push back the V-brush just long enough for these jumps to come back in, but the jumps, one getting taken out, unfortunately, and crab right back from Mechanomics, going to take a huge amount of space in mid and get that pick on Karma. So despite the really nice break in, the 3-down situation didn't allow Cafeteria to capitalize on that, and now the Slosher being a little bit isolated here is going to get taken out, and we're in a very similar situation that we had before. Cooler coming out is going to be especially crucial for Mechanomics, as we're already going to see these super aggressive positions being being taken. Karma, though, able to get out the crab. That's the beauty of Splash. You can really quickly charge those up. Mechanomics is running out, or Cafeteria, sorry, running out of time, though.
I mean, yeah, they're running out of time, but they don't really need it as they are able to very quickly recapture the zone. Now, the question for Cafeteria becomes, can you get a sustained hold? Because every time they held or got to this spot, Mechanomics very quickly responded, and so far they're doing a good job getting another one down. The bucket's gonna go down, so no strikes you have to worry about for it now. And Cafeteria are slowly making their way towards the lead, that lead change mark, but they're gonna have to hold for a lot longer. There's Karma going down with the combination of the crab zip caster. Another's gonna go down as well. 2 down, 3 down, looking for the 4th for the wipeout. Brendan trying to keep alive for as long as possible, able to at least in this fight try to keep themselves alive, forced to back away for now. And once again, Mechanomics really good at responding to whatever Cafeteria throws at them. And Cafeteria, they had a really good chance for a hold. They couldn't hold it for long.
I mean, they held it for a very long time, considering they went from 80 to 39, but unfortunately not enough to stack against the 20, and now that penalty point is gone, losing the dualies is losing their range. That's going to be very damaging. Here we see Soda going for it like just a last Hail Mary push, that bubble from the decap. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough.
I mean, hey, what can I say? Mechanomics, the theme of these last 2 games was how do we respond? And Mechanomics responded very nicely every time. And I mean every time the Cafeteria pushed. They got some momentum going. It was snatched from their feet. Mechanomics just cut it off before anything could really happen, and they just, I don't know, they just played it really well. That's the best I could put it.
Yeah, I will say the decav on the side of Cafeteria staying alive long enough in that fight against 2 members of Mechanomics on the side of the map was very crucial, because they were able to draw attention to themselves, and that takes attention away from taking back mid, from moving up from that space. And so that meant that Cafeteria had more room to work with when they were all coming back. It's just the timer was not in their favor with that last push. And I also feel it's probably very difficult to run a coolerless against a comp that has as many coolers as a pen-based comp.
Oh yeah, because I think if you're gonna run no cooler, right? I think I said it earlier, where you have to be very selective about the fights you take, right? Because any chip damage, like a burst bomb or a blaster shot, or like just the outer ring of any bomb, that kind of adds up, right, over time. And if you were to go down, the momentum can very quickly shift into the side of the cooler comp, in this case Mechanomics, which has happened. One member of Cafeteria went down, the rest of the Mechanomics kind of swarmed like a group of I can't, maybe like vultures, I don't know, an animal that swarms basically. That's the best way I could put it. Like a school of fish. I'll do that since we're playing Splatoon. So they just kind of swarmed on the remaining members, and unfortunately for Cafeteria, just couldn't hold them back.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially when you have those respawns and those immediate jump-ins. It makes it feel like any pick that you get just doesn't matter. But with that said, we are going to move to our next round of winners bracket. This is going to be Infinite Torp versus New Advances in Dread Technology. Now, if there are really new advances in Dread Technology, I'm excited to hear all about it. But these players, probably some familiar names for all of you out in the audience here. We've got Synapse, we've got Henlo, and Thunder, and Lexi on Infinite Torp, and then of course New Advances in Dread Technology having Chara, Okami, Snipes, and Dylan. All of these very familiar top players have been around in the community for a while, so...
Yes, I love Red Pro Chara, my favorite. Yeah,
Red Pro Chara. You have to specify the color.
Yes, specify Red Pro Chara. You know what? That name has me intrigued. What are these new advances in Dread Technology? Because I'm a Dreadbringer player. I love Dreadbringer. I think it's really fun. It's Reef Slider. It's kind of the SD button. It's still very fun. But I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, top players going at it. New advances. What are they? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, me too. Well, hopefully they play Dread, so we get to see these new advances in the technology.
I mean, hey, listen. If they don't play Dread, that's false advertisement. that's false advertisement. That's all.
You'd be surprised at how many players there are in this scene that have names of weapons that don't play that weapon. Like, yesterday I saw a Blaster player that doesn't play Blast. No, not a Blaster player. Their name is Blaster. They don't play Blaster. And I was told of somebody named Big Swig that plays Dynamo.
Okay, well that's like in the same category, so it's like it's kind of similar, but you know.
Yeah.
This
one, a lot of false advertising going on.
A lot of false advertisement. We need the FTC to check this out.
Well, no false advertising. I guess, are we gonna see infinite torpedoes coming out from Infinite Torp?
I better see 4 torpedo weapons at all times.
I better see all Sub-Saver cops
all
gear
Sub-Saver, all Sub-Saver, all ink recovery, special power-up so they can throw as far as possible. I want to see all of it. But we are going to see if they decide to go with these infinite torpedoes as we go to game number 1, Zones Umami. Very interesting.
Umami, yeah. I mean, you're the Dread player. I hope we can expect a Dread from new advances in Dread technology. What's the Dread versus Torpedo matchup like?
Okay. All right. It depends on when you explode it. If it's before, it's pretty easy. If it's after, well, I'll see you in the next life. But yeah, overall, I do think this map in general, I think it's good for Dreadringer. If you're talking about Dread specifically or just in general, I do think it's good for Dreadringer because you can, of course, paint one zone completely by yourself. You don't need any help with that. Yeah. In general, I do think
if Chara plays Dread, I'm pretty sure we'll see Dread.
We're gonna see Dread. But I think my only like semi issue with this map is that it can get very lockout heavy. Because you can go right up to the enemy base.
That's true.
Okay, but we are jumping straight into it. There it is, the titular Dread Ringer from, I believe that is Pro Chara, I want to say? Red Pro Chara, yes it is. Alright, so from new advances, we're going to see Dreadringer, of course, and a pretty standard weapon, you know, your Splash, your Carbon, your Pencil. From the side of Infinite Torp, we're going to see a Dapple Nouveau, a Wiper, a Pencil, and a Crab. So hey, that's 2 Torp weapons, so they're halfway there.
Yeah, halfway to Infinite Torps. Well, looks like, with a slider and a very fast taking of the zone here, new advances in Dread technology, essentially going to paint a lot over mid. But we're going to see the Henlo pop the hammer here, get 1, look for 2, not quite. Hammer snipe, doesn't find anything, but very nice hammer pick there. We have the Zuka coming in as well. Very nice capitalization on these specials as the Carbon Deco is able to run up the rest of their team here.
Yeah, here they are able to at least get 1 new advantage, able to at least get some of the zone cap. There is the Crab coming out. Unfortunately, the Reef will go down, so the Dread will be out. So that's a lot of paint lacking for the side of new advances, and Infinite Torp taking full advantage of that, able to very, very quickly recapture zones, probably push a little bit ahead. You see Henlo here on this left-hand side, forced to jump out, but thankfully jump straight to a teammate. So Infinite Torp can keep up this pressure. Sign-up's gonna go down, so that's not what you want to see. Okay, that just happened. Yeah, Ringsider sucks, but yeah, just staying alive in Infinite Torp with the chance to get a lot more of the lead here.
We're seeing a lot of Slider versus other special matchups, and that's resulting in interactions I wasn't entirely sure was possible. Here come the torpedoes from Infinite Torp, though. Now that they're set up, those torpedoes are going to be very annoying. We're going to see Slider falls into the pit, though, has to jump out, and so probably not getting exactly what they wanted there. Here's more torpedoes that New Advances is going to have to deal with, as well as this Crab coming out from Thunder, spotting Chara, trying to drop into pit there, again forcing the jump out. So not the picks, but still getting the area that they need. We are going to see the Dread, though, make its way up to the zone. There's the Slider in, doesn't get a pick, and unfortunately gets taken down. That's 3 down on the side of New Advances now. And with this hammer finishing off Mesmerizer, I think that is our game.
Okay, I know we didn't talk about it at all, but Dapple Nouveau?
Dapple Nouveau.
Dapple Nouveau.
Honestly, I think it's a completely fair pick. I've seen it a lot more in this game, especially than Splatoon. I know in Splatoon 2 it was always like a whoa wildcard pick, but like it's definitely fair here, and I can get a lot of value.
I mean, yeah, I can see it, especially because Infinite Torp is playing such an up-tempo comp. They have the Wiper, they
Yeah.
have the Dapple, they have the Splash, which can kind of mix between mid and up close, but that's the story for a different day. But yeah, so I think I can rock with it because Dreadringer kind of forces you in, and you have these teammates behind you, like right behind you, that can like support you, kind of protect you. Because I think we saw it at the very end where Red Pro Chara, they went to go for the zone, and
Yeah.
unfortunately they were by themselves, so they were very easily picked off. So hey, if it works, it works. What can I say?
I was gonna say the umami zones feature a lot of places to hide from Reef, whether that's just hopping up onto top mid or hiding behind the boxes. And you can see the 3 members that were in the area did in fact do that, and then we're just able to pick off the slider from where it was, like you said, a little bit isolated. But completely fair to try and get that zone back. We are now going to move to Mahi Mahi Resort.
Okay, so talk about the Reef-Sider matchup against this map.
Right.
Once the war level drops, you're having a field day. You're at like an amusement park or a resort. You have your drinks, you have your beach towel, you have your beach chair, you have your umbrella. You're having a really good day because it's so open. You have so much space to work with. But before it drops, it's very condensed. So it's also very good because there's not that many ways to push in for the enemy. So it's kind of like you're kind of like funneled into like 2 ways in, if that makes sense.
Pretty much, yeah. For what it's worth, I did see at last Riptide somebody brought a very large inflatable reef slider into the pool, the water park, and the staff did not let them put it in the wave pool.
Aww.
So, I mean, maybe this park here is more used to inflatable reef sliders.
Yeah, we're gonna see it. So far be a lot of fighting right away. Infinite Torp able to at least get a little bit of the lead here, getting it down to 82 points. New advances, although, are trying to advance their way forward. Unfortunately, Henlo's hammer will get shut down by the Carbon Roller. To see a Torp at least kind of do a little bit of movement there, and New advances able to recapture the zone very, very quickly here and advance a little bit forward.
Yeah, a lot of fighting going on in mid here. And very back and forth situation. Nice pick there from the pen. And we haven't, like you said, ooh, nice pick there from Naps. We haven't gotten the water level changed yet. And so, like you said, these teams are just kind of funneled constantly into these 2 points. But here we go. There is going to be the change in the map. And now we are a lot more open. This Carbon here, trying to take advantage of the ledges. A crab, we've got Slider, we've got everything getting popped in this corner here.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna see Infinite Torp able to at least recapture the zone for just a second, but New advances are not going to give that up without a fight. The crab from Snipe at least able to send some pot shots over to the pencil, getting them down. Eventually, Synapse here kind of cornered, forced to back away. So New advances, kind of stabilized themselves after what happened, but now they have to kind of fend off this Infinite Torp push once again. You see, they're doing a really good job of doing that, as you see it's a lot of paint around the zones, and not even just the zones, the Carbon, though, getting a nice pick there to kind of slow down Infinite Torp, and so far it's working for them.
Yeah, Wiper losing the hammer, though, unfortunately, so not able to capitalize off of that. And with this cooler going out into mid, New advances in a very nice position right now to continue holding on to this zone. They have no more penalty. That timer is now ticking down. Slider goes directly into the zone, but it is going to immediately get taken out. Ooh, Pen going down there to Hello, though, but we have the counter Slider, and able to avoid that. We've got the jumps in, and so and we have the hammer as well from Henlo, so that is going to be zone flip with about 21 remaining. So many trades happening here in this zone.
I mean, yeah, and so far, at least at the moment, any trade kind of benefits Infinite Torp because they're holding the zone. So since they're holding the zone, any trades kind of takes away the forces from New advantage, and so far we're gonna see if they're able to hold on. Unfortunately, the Reef-Sider will go off. Unfortunately, they're gonna go down as well. Infinite Torp, that will be a wipeout on the side of New advantage. Not what you want to see if you are them, but thankfully Infinite Torp has a very big penalty to eat through, and they're slowly doing that as we speak, and we're gonna see Synapse kind of get shooed away from this side. Thunder, though, going down to a very unfortunate Dreadringer slosh there, and we're gonna see New advances getting themselves set up. I think that was a double kill from the Zuka. That's exactly what they needed here.
Exactly what they needed. In fact, we've got the crab as well. Here comes the Slider all the way onto top the flat here. The Carbon trying to escape there. They take out the Dread as well, and now this Crab is on top of the world. Very nicely positioned for a full vantage point over everything. We've got we also have the slider, we have the hammer at the ready. The Carbon here looking for some picks, but unfortunately not able to find any. That ledge just a little bit too high. Naps trying to go for the same route, but getting called out and taken out. Now Thunder here is also taken out as well. So we've got 2 down on both sides. But again, that favors Infinite Torp because they're the ones in control of the zone right now.
Yeah, and so far, New Advances are going to go 2 down. There's the hammer coming out. The hammer not able to find anybody, but a Crab might just be what Infinite Torps need to eat through their penalty. That's exactly what they're going to do. Cooler is going to come out once again here, but you have to be really worried. You see the Reefsider at the ready. And okay, not anymore. Reefsider is gonna go down. So that's exactly what they needed. Able to take the lead. The Crab's gonna come out. Everything is thrown at the zone. Synapse with the Reefsider able to at least recapture the zone once again. But Infinite Torp 2 are gonna go 2 down, 3 down. So unfortunately for Infinite Torp, they're able to get the lead, but now they're kind of in where they were. They are where New Advances were a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, for what it's worth, though, New Advances at the end of that last push, they did have Cooler, and so they all came back very, very quickly. We're going to see Thunder, though, with the paint from the splash, trying to go on to the zone, and Charles is doing his best to keep control with the paint of the bucket of force, but with the hammer going to fall, the hammer also falls too, but in this last couple seconds of the game, that GG Reef Slider onto the zone, 14 to 15.
Nail biter. That's it.
I don't even know who won. All right.
Infinite Torp, they had it because I believe, what was it? Synapse Reef Slider. Yeah.
The zone, is that right?
I don't think so. Okay.
Well, we get the replay, so let's see.
We get the replay. So yeah.
Yeah. I truly don't know what happened here.
I don't know either. So they held
Okay,
it.
so it was
14.
15-14 for the last entire portion of this game. The zone got capped, so there was also penalty on both sides. We have the trade here, and then yes, this was just keeping the zone that was already painted to prevent overtime from triggering. Okay, wow, 1 point difference from these teams here.
The 1 point meme is real. The 1 point meme is real, and I think from this one set, I think what we can surmise is Reef Slider is a lot of fun. That's it. That's the whole message.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Reef Slider fun.
Reef Slider
Torpedo fun. We did see New Advances in Dread technology, I think, so you know what? These teams delivered on what they promised with their names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think why this set worked out in Infinite Torp's favor is because they did a really good job of punishing the Reef Slider, right? I think we saw it in the first game definitely, but a lot more in the second game where anytime the Reef Slider for New Advances popped, they scattered, so none of them would die. Of course, it would at least catch one of them. But when the Reef Slider popped and the invincibility kind of went away, then they just all collapsed on it. I think that by itself gave Infinite Torp a lot of paint to work with, because 1, you're killing the Reef Slider player. 2, you're basically going to paint up the trail, so that's a lot more paint for them. And 3, that again takes away a lot of the pressure from, or a lot of the resources from New Advances. So, just good job to Infinite Torp, really.
Yeah, really interesting matchup that we saw here. Well, we're going to take a short break, prep the rest of the tournament. We will be right back, so stay tuned.
See you in a little bit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fry Basket. If you're just joining us, I'm Cater, and I'm joined here today by Topic.
Hello, hello.
All right, we are now making our way to winners bracket semis. We have Vanguard versus Mechanomics. Mechanomics, of course, a team that we saw just a couple rounds ago, and Vanguard, a new appearance on stream here, but these names probably still relatively familiar to you guys out there.
What are those names? Because, for those of us who may not know who they are.
I recognize Harshi, I recognize Urza, but they are on the inactive roster, and so we'll be playing today. Jay, Phoenix, not all of these are entirely familiar to me, but I've definitely seen these players around.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Hey, listen, they're here. They made it to winner semi, so I expect some really good gameplay. And we're gonna start off this round with, a bit of a classic, but one we've seen earlier today, which is gonna be Splat Zones and Mako Mart.
Yes, and we are now in best of 5 as well as counter picks. So the rest of these matches are going to be picked by the loser of the previous match.
Okay, all right. Now, of course, we have seen this before, so I think a lot of points are going to be when we rehashed. Mako Mart, great for your short range weapons like your blasters, like Luna, V Blaster, range blaster, stuff like that. You have your buckets, which I expect that maybe 1 or 2 buckets this match, because bucket's very popular, especially the V bucket with the strikes, GG strikes. Maybe a carbon. I don't know. Perhaps maybe just a roller in general. Weapons that again can very easily abuse ledges. So,
yeah, it looks like on the side of Vanguard we've got the possible bucket player. So that could be very useful here with all the ledges, like you said. We have a charger player, and there's also someone who plays V-Shot, so those Zukas coming in handy.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, Zuka can come in very useful, of course, for clearing off the snipe area on the enemy side, kind of getting some nice geometry angles with the glass on the right hand side. So yeah, I could definitely see it. I do expect a very fight heavy game, mainly because this map kind of condensed, kind of small, so I would expect a lot of fighting. So we are going to see here Mechanomics in the yellow, a squeezer. Okay, very, very interesting from the side of Vanguard. And S-Blast, I believe that's a 92 with Burst Bomb Booyah. So, hey, a GG Booyah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, S-Blast, not something you see too terribly often here. And I definitely wasn't expecting to see it in zone, so we'll see how that plays out for them. And then, yeah, like you said, the Squeezer could also be a very fun pick, affording them a lot of range as well as, pen on both sides too. So we're going to be seeing this cooler, going to be seeing this paint just like before. And it looks like Mechanomics going to take a pretty dominant position here, especially having their Squeezer player up here on the stack is very, very good place for them to be in, and taking this more aggressive position, able to take out the pen, so no cooler for Vanguard for now. On the other hand, we have the Booyah Bomb going in to the zone right now, almost getting shredded, but not quite, and that is going to neutralize the zone, but you can see that the pen paints over that in the blink of an eye.
I mean, it's not just pencil. Yeah, it's pencil splash, and those strikes from the bucket. So there's a lot of paint going into the zone. But even without the paint, you can see how well their fight. Well, someone said they go 2 down, but you saw how well Mechanomics were fighting, just getting Vanguard staggered, getting them out of position. But unfortunately for them, they're going to be forced to back up just a little bit here. As members of Vanguard are going to slowly break the range of the zone. There's a Crab, there's a Zuka coming out as well, but Mechanomics holding on here despite the Crab. Despite the shot, they're able to get to 1 point, but unfortunately, they're not able to take the win. So Vanguard are in an inch of the game being lost, able to hold on, but they have a large mountain to climb here.
Yeah, though they didn't have very much penalty, and so this could also be over very quickly if we see a similar length hold on their side. I don't think we will, though, especially with all of these specials that are getting popped out coolers from both teams. We see Crabs, we see Zukas, Bazooka taking out Bucket on the side of Mechanomics, and those shots providing a lot of space. We do also have the Booyah Bomb at the ready here if it's necessary. Hopefully they don't go down with it. And I think they're just going to hang onto the zone, wait for these members of Mechanomics to clump up to go in from the left here. Nice pick from Warlock as well. The Crab coming out, and this is a really, really good hold that Vanguard has. Taking out the pen on the side of Mechanomics means no cooler for them, as Vanguard does have cooler right now, and there is the Booyah Bomb.
Yeah, here we go. Vanguard under 3 ticks to go with a really good hold, but there's a Crab coming out for the splash. Unfortunately, 2 members of them are going to go down to be neutralized rather quickly, forced to back away because of a flank there. Vanguard very easily able to kind of keep that push from getting worse for Mechanomics, as we see Vanguard getting down to 16. Mechanomics going 2 down once again. Vanguard within 10 ticks of the lead, as we see members going down. Vanguard with the Crab to put a bow on it, and that will do it. From 80-1 deficit, able to come back and win the game, snatching victory out from Mechanomics' hands. Good job.
Yeah, usually the Splat Zones games especially can be very back and forth. A lot of the matches that we've seen earlier have been, hold a little bit, slowly work your way down. This was 2 very long holds on the zone. And just these, you can see on the replay here, especially Mechanomics able to neutralize the zone with those strikes and with the pen, but just not quite able to follow up, losing both the squeezer and the bucket, which meant that unfortunately they couldn't recap the zone fully.
Yeah, and I think for both sides, actually, they did a really good job of just painting over the enemy attack. Like we see right here at the very end, Vanguard able to very quickly paint over it, but even before, when Mechanomics were in control of the zone, anytime Vanguard tried to push forward, it was very quickly painted over because of just a large swaths of paint that they had at their disposal. So, like you said, just two very, very long holds. But now, of course, this is counter pick, so this will be Mechanomics' pick. But
yeah,
I'm gonna throw it out there. Hagglefish is definitely on the board here because of Squeezer.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. They decide to bring out that Squeezer again.
But I'm trying to think what other maps would be good for Mechanomics. I guess you got Haggle, probably Crab Leg as like a wild card there. I think if you're Mechanomics, you want to kind of stay away from maps with like ledges or curves, so like no humpback, no. Would Barnacle and Dime count? I'm not sure.
I feel like Barnacle is relatively open as far as the zone itself goes. It's kind of a middle ground if you're thinking about it.
Yeah, because I'm more trying to think about the streets. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like you have the streets that the blaster can take full advantage of. You have Snipe. You have the plat itself. So I think if you're Mechanomics, you want to kind of stay away from those type of maps. Very a lot of changes in elevation, basically.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
all right.
Well,
we're taking Mahi.
There's one big change in elevation, but also it's relatively flat, all things considered. Like you have a couple spaces of cover, of course, but for the most part, it's relatively flat.
I think it's definitely a fair pick. Yeah, and even with the water change, really all it does is open up more space. I wouldn't say it drastically changes the elevation of the map.
Yeah. I do think now, we are going to Mahi. I think if you are Mechanomics, I do think, what am I trying to say? If you're Mechanomics, as we saw earlier in the tourney, for a majority of the game, or what could be a majority of the game, where you are like the enemy team is kind of funneled into 2 spots, mainly on that right side, like kind of area, and then the jump snipe, or the snipe jump, I should say. You can like do a really good job kind of keeping them staggered. I feel like once one team gets into the other's base and it's a good hold, it could be a very, very short game from then on.
Definitely, especially like you said, when the water level is still high, everybody's funneled into those couple ways to enter the zone. If you get a lockout early on here, we could spell another one of those really long holds that we saw in the first match.
Yeah, but we are going to see from
Ooh,
Mechanomics no
rush
changes.
time.
Oh, and yeah, my bad. Yeah, you are right. So there's a brush. Okay, and it's the V brush with Zipcaster, so you can see a bit more the aggressive style from Mechanomics, especially since you have three weapons that can go up and get the kills that they need. Meanwhile, for Vanguard, no changes, sticking with that S splash, which honestly I could see it could work. It just provides so much paint or so much just area pressure, but even with that Mechanomics very quickly establishing themselves, getting a very quick 3 down and hold here.
Yeah, well, again, this could be really long like we saw in the first match. We're going to see the cooler come out, though, for Vanguard, and that first pick, second pick. So there's the brush, though. They go down as well, so even coming back quickly with the coolers, some very satisfying directs as well coming out here, and the crab taking so much space so quickly and getting a pick out of it as well. So I think we're in for a much more back and forth game on this map.
I mean, yeah, that's what else we're looking for here. But Mechanomics trying to force their way in. The crab able to get one. Cleffa staying alive, making it away from the bomb. Mechanomics able to recapture zone once again. Vanguard going 3 down once again. But I think they learned from that first game. Aren't going to stagger that well. There we go. Warlock kind of jumps onto the splash for extending a bit too far. There's the cooler coming out. So Vanguard looking for the opportunity to get some into the zone here, but there it is. There's the Zipcaster going straight for the backline and able to get them down.
Yeah, we've got the crab coming out here, gonna get another pick as well. That zone still for Mechanomics right now, but very quickly here that is going to change. The sheer paint getting put out by this comp, and again with the water level dropping, we have sort of these corners that a lot of these 1v1, 2v1 situations are going to take part in, and those go to Vanguard right now. We do have the crab that will probably come out soon, as well as the strikes here, so these specials going to be popped. Crab versus crab battle here, and both of them get shredded, actually. So that is a net 0 crabs for everyone. Oh, going on to get 2 more picks, leaving that Slosher the only one alive on Mechanomics right now, not able to come back and take the zone. So, and getting taken out as well. Wow, Vanguard really good on the cleanup here.
I mean, yeah, if this is exactly what you're looking for. If you're Vanguard, you're getting Mechanomics down, you're getting them staggered, you're getting them off tempo, and that's exactly what you need to do. But Mechanomics aren't going to take that line down. The Zuka able to get one. The Zipcaster going in looking for one, getting shut down themselves, and Vanguard will take the lead back from Mechanomics. A stronghold under 26 ticks remaining, so Mechanomics possibly have 1 or 2 more chances to try to get back into zone. Cleffa with these crab is going to be popped, and at least get something going, and there it is. The crab and the strikes are going to be enough to recapture zone, at least for a second.
Yeah, that second is what matters, though, because that 54-point penalty is going to give them at least 1 more chance to push into the zone. That's another 3-down situation, though, with the splash being the only one alive here and caught in this corner, trying to escape, but not able to make it back to the rest of their team. We have a really, oh my goodness, very aggressive position here. Does get taken out, though. P with the crab up here does get a pick. This is just such a nicely placed crab, and that pick is going to... Losing the Octobrush means that they don't get that ability to push in. They do get taken out themselves, but that's again 2 down, 3 down. The Brush being the only one remaining. They have Cooler, but the drop here might not be the best thing as... Oh, okay, bomb pick. That's great. I guess they do have to drop here just because of the game, but unfortunately, not quite enough.
I feel like the story of this game has been 2 and 3 downs. I don't know how many times you said it. Probably 5, 6, 7 times. I feel like both teams got 2 3-down scenarios on each other, and unfortunately Mechanomics, they just had it at the absolute worst times at the very end of the game. Because we saw Vanguard, they did a good job of recovering from that. They didn't because they got wiped relatively early. They got wiped relatively early into the game, so they had a lot of time to kind of recover and recoup. But for Mechanomics, they just went 2, 3 down again and again and again at the very end, under that like 90 seconds to 2-minute mark. And unfortunately for them, Vanguard just took full advantage of it, and like we saw, the desperation drop just didn't work out in their favor.
I will say, given a couple more seconds, I think it would have worked, because they got the suction bomb pick and they saw, okay, and they also immediately got zip from that and said, I need to go in right now. And they got another pick off of that zip, but unfortunately they alone couldn't paint over the whole zone. So it was a great start to what could have been an overtime push, but no overtime was triggered.
Yeah, but as we're gonna wait again for a game for our third and potential final or second or potential final counter pick here. Now, Cater, if you're Mechanomics, what map are you looking to go to? Because you lost on the very close quarters map, you lost on the very open paint-oriented map. What are you looking for if you're Mechanomics in a map?
I feel like at this point, it might just be like, what are we as a team most comfortable with? What do we have the most confidence that this late in the set, we're 2 down, right? The mental's probably suffering a little bit. What is the map that we can play on and bounce back and be like, this is our home turf, that we have the most confidence in being able to win on? It might not even be like a counter pick situation at this point. It's just, how do we push through?
I mean, yeah, because this is their tourney, not tourney runs on the line, but this is their winners side tourneys on the line. So I think, yeah, if you definitely are Mechanomics, I think this is just, hey, let's get a bit of momentum on the board, right? Because one game is all you need. You've seen reverse sweeps, we've seen it happen before, we've seen snowballs before. So it takes one win, and then that can stack up on top of each other. But again, you're Mechanomics, you got to make sure that you make this potential final game count.
Yeah, already being at match point. And I think that the 2 games that we've seen before had very similar stories, where it's that after the original middle ground, the neutral state, the struggle back and forth, Mechanomics had good holds. But somehow Vanguard manages, under pressure, it feels like they are able to come back just by a little bit and then hold on and ride it out. So perhaps Mechanomics saying, like, we have to put everything into that first push and knock out like we tried to on Mako to prevent that from even coming back. Perhaps it's Mechanomics saying we play a little bit slower and we let them come to us and we take a leaf out of their book and try and do a little bit better on the cleanup, on the holds, on the lockouts.
Yeah, but bit of a disagreement there from me. It's like, if you're Mechanomics and you play slower, I feel like you're just enabling like the frontliners for Vanguard, right? You're enabling the blaster, you're enabling the shot. No, you're enabling the dualies. You're enabling their frontliners to kind of get into position, and you're enabling them to kind of play their game basically. Because I feel like if you're Mechanomics, the goal is to not let Vanguard play the game. Like, your goal is to kind of make this as quick and as painless as possible, just take this game from them. Because like, if you are going to play slow, I feel like you need a dramatic weapon change up. But we're gonna see, as they have decided to go with Umami Ruins for game number 3.
Oh,
I guess this is their comfort pick. So I don't think so. If you're Mechanomics, of course okay. Here's my question: Do they stick with the brush, or they go back to the squeezer? That's what I'm curious about.
all right. Well, let's see if we get that squeezer pick. Yeah, squeezer.
Hey, called it. Yeah, ooh, and a decaf from the side of Vanguard. Very interesting here, yeah. So Mechanomics, what we've seen from them before in that first game, and a decaf, okay, a bit more of a secure frontliner, as I would put it, but an immediate bomb kill, as we're going to see a lot of fighting going on. Immediately, Vanguard are going to go 2 down very, very quickly, and Mechanomics with a very, very solid start here.
Yeah, the bucket pick into the 15-second crab, as in it took them 15 seconds to get very nice there, and Cooler already out as well. They do lose the bucket, both teams coolered right now, and a nice bomb wall pick from Warlock there on the shot, I believe. And so that is going to be zone for Vanguard. We're still in that back and forth situation here. Neither of these teams having a huge hold on mid. This Zuka, combination Zuka and Bubble could be very, very important for Vanguard here. One pick. Looking for a second. There's the second pick. Wow, very nice. Force it. Oh, and the jump out also getting taken out as well. So the story has been flipped a little bit here. Vanguard, the one with the first decisive hold, and very nice cooler for the entire team right there. We are going to see the crab come out here looking for picks. The decaf does go down as well, allowing them to take this hit area. And even through the strikes, that's another member down on the side of Mechanomics.
I mean, yeah, Mechanomics going down once again, and even with the strikes, Vanguard's able to at least hold on, get a couple more points down to 43, but here we go. The cavalry for Mechanomics is out. Unfortunately, Bucket's going to go down. P looking to at least get the pressure onto themselves and not the zone. Club's gonna go down. P's gonna go down to the crab in return. So Mechanomics, very unfortunate outcome or turn of events for them as Vanguard able to get down to 30 points remaining. Dante is going to go down once again for Mechanomics. Warlock staying alive. Another Zuka is going to be pop looking for the bucket here. Not quite able to find it, but a double kill to the face with that Zuka. So again, very, very unfortunate if you're Mechanomics. Not what you want to see here, but thankfully you are able to get at least some penalty onto Vanguard.
Yeah, and we've got the crab charge up and ready as well, going to be popped here. 2 down. That crab's looking for a pick on Dome as well, and the cooler coming out. So Mechanomics very quickly have set up in the position they want to. The bucket, though, again, down is not. It's just not what they want to see, and now they're gonna have to deal with the decaf. That 2v1 situation not working out for them, and Pan on the side of Mechanomics going down as well. You can see the blaster here taking full advantage of this. The Booyah Bomb is gonna come out, the strikes, the bubble, all of these specials going onto the zone, and that is control lost for Mechanomics, and control flipping into Vanguard. We have the bubble on the zone again as well, and there's going to be a Zuka here. This is just to make them so much more difficult to push, and both Zukas coming out, but that is 3 down. The Pen, the last one here, going to get hunted down and directed.
Vanguard, they just responded really well to Mechanomics. I feel like anytime Mechanomics tries to push, at least one member is going down, so that takes away a lot of pressure from that. There's no pencil, so no cooler for Mechanomics. Very, very unfortunate timing there. Vanguard leading through their penalty points, able to at least get through all of them. We're going to see the 92 able to get a pick and keeping themselves alive. Vanguard 20 ticks remaining on the board. Here Mechanomics, you have to go to the zone right now. They're going to go 2 down. Warlock very up front, decides to back away, keep themselves alive. 7, 6, 5, 2 down for Mechanomics, and that will do it. Vanguard, very good, very good game and a very dominant 3-0 win.
My goodness. I mean, you can see how far that orange paint extends into the base of Mechanomics. Vanguard took so much space and just did not even let them out of the spawn area, really. Very impressive.
I mean, yeah, I think after Mechanomics got down to 44, it just felt like a switch flipped in the minds of Vanguard to say, hey, enough playing around. We're ending this game right now. That's exactly what they did. They got. You see how far up Warlock and P are. They're just bringing the fight to Mechanomics, and that's exactly what they need to do. The Vanguard needs to do. It was just good set, a good win. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Wow. I'm still kind of in shock from the bringing back that Mako game from 1 remaining, and that really, I think that gave Vanguard a lot of momentum throughout this set. But, well, with that, we are going to move on to winners finals, I believe, but we are going to be swapping comp blocks. So Topic and I are going to hand off the mic to Azio and Pat, a couple of other incredible commentators you guys are not going to want to miss. Before we go, though, Topic, where can the wonderful people in the audience find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter and Blue Sky at Topical2, over on Discord at Topic2, and yeah, that's about it. Kater, what about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at cater.inkling.social, where I cast tournaments, post art, and do other funny Splatoon things. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks to our wonderful streamer Tacos, and we are going to be right back with the rest of Fry Basket and a brand new set of commentators. Stay fresh, stay hydrated, and stay tuned.
Hold on, one more thing before we go. One more thing. If you are going to be in the New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut area on February 8th, come to Big Apple number 6.
Oh,
it's going to be very fun. It's a LAN. Unfortunately, it's not part of the LAN championships, but hey, it's a LAN. So please Come to Baked Apple 6. It'll be fun. That's it. Stay hydrated.